Hi there, I'm Valerie Milano, the senior editor of the Hollywood Times, and we have our guest today I'm very excited about, so I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Anna Gusson. I'm the director of Pivot.
Hi, I'm Robyn Campbell. I'm the screenwriter of Pivot.
Excellent. It's a brilliant animated short film. It's about 7 minutes, and it's about identity by a woman-led team, which I am very excited about. A team of writers and animators, almost no dialogue. It's a simple story. Young Ashley sees herself as someone her mom does not see, and mom sees Ashley as someone else, perhaps her dreams of who her daughter could be, or who she wants her to be. This story could be about anyone, including a child who is transgender and sees him or herself as someone their parents might never see. Could it be? So, is this story of perception, how we perceive ourselves versus how others see us, do you think?
Um, I think it really is about the objectification of people, and in particular, um, children who don't meet what their parents expected. We often see parents wanting a mini me, someone who is very similar to them, and you know there is the understanding that, of course, parents are excited, they want to relate to their kid, but oftentimes that the way that parents imagine relating to their kid is that their kid is going to bend to them, is going to be like them, when the reality is that your child is a completely independent being with its own thoughts and feelings and likes and dislikes that may or may not be similar to the parents. And it is very harmful to any person to be forced to be in a box in that sense. And children, the most important thing for their mental development is to be seen, valued, and known. And when you're putting your own stuff onto your child, you're not seeing them, valuing them, or knowing them. And so it appears to be just addressed in the short film, but what it is the mother not seeing, knowing, or valuing her child for who she is, which is a huge problem.
Yeah, in addition to that, I think it's also about our character. We try to convey her finding herself. Ashley, we we picked Ashley being portrayed at 12 years old, which is a key moment in childhood growing up where we are, if you haven't found yourself by that time, you're suddenly about to um, developing your own tastes and what you want to look like. You already have set kind of like you have your idols and what you want to be. And Ashley has definitely um, found a different path than what her mom would like it to be. So it's also about finding the courage to stand before your loved one and hoping that they would accept you how you want to be versus what they would expect you to be.
Those are good explanations. The monster is not the dress, but it's Ashley and how she struggles with that perception of her by her mom, isn't it? And does she feel like no one sees her as she truly is? Is that
It's
kind of how it was written?
the monster is a representation of her feelings that she's fighting against. Truly, fear is what stops us from having boundaries with people. Fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, fear of the reaction, not being the person that our mom wants her to be. Like, especially when we're young, like we idolize our parents. They're the person that we want them to accept us the most. Their love for us, like our whole lives, everything depends on them loving us and taking care of us. And so disappointing her mom not being that person is terrifying and has always been terrifying to her. So the monster is really a representation of her feelings.
Did this story come to life for you? Is this something you struggled with as a child, as a young girl or child, or is this something that you think that a lot of young girls or young people struggle with universally?
The second, for sure, universally, I think kids in general struggle with this, and that it can be a visual representation, like it can be clothes, it can be morals, it can be thoughts, it can be which sports team you root for, like it can be, it can be anything, what music you listen to. It's there's such a wider range, and that the dress is an example of this, but there's many aspects and many that are psychological rather than physical. There's two things that inspired the story, and the very literal sense of the dress was a childhood friend of mine. She had this exact experience where from the time we were in preschool, her mom forced her to wear these really frilly, awful dresses for every like Christmas concert, picture day, any like celebration, which is really sad. She was forced to wear something she absolutely hated and didn't align with who she is at all, and had to be like thrived basically into wearing. And now as an adult, I would never see her wearing a dress in a million years. That way, it would actually be like so strange, like to see her in a dress would feel very weird. And then in the more metaphorical sense, she was very vocal about the fact that she hated these dresses. She was not afraid. She was a feral cat. Like she was mad about this situation. Like trying to put Anna's cat into a Halloween costume, I feel like is probably, and this cat is a little feral. So it's not her story emotionally, but rather that sense. Whereas for myself, I had my own journey of growing up in a place where a couple things about me weren't widely accepted or understood. I was bisexual, and I am bisexual, and I grew up in a very small town in the middle of Saskatchewan, middle of nowhere essentially in Canada, where during that time in the early 2000s, that bisexuality wasn't a thing. You were either like gay or straight, and that if you were bisexual, you were confused. And I was really afraid of even talking about it, just like telling people, like even my family, to just like bring it up and have any kind of conversation about it. So I really hid it and pushed it down. And also being a writer, that I always wanted to be a writer. People didn't understand how I would possibly ever accomplish that. And so I really like tried to shut it down and do anything else, which I had a hard time ever doing. So here we are. I'm now a writer. But took a long time. No.
I mean, you got anything to say about that?
Yeah, so when Robyn brought the script up, we made the film as part of a program called ACE, program by Women in Animation, and Robyn wrote the script and applied the script for the program. So the program consists in helping women in mid-career level animation to rise to higher creative positions. So I myself applied for the program as well as a director. So once Robyn was picked with her script, the script was presented to the rest of the crew, and to me, I felt closely related to it. I relate a little bit more to her feral cat friend, because I was definitely more vocal to my mom about things I didn't like. I was a very active child, very creative. So my mom very early on knew I wouldn't put up with certain things. But definitely there were moments where like I had no choice, and to me clothing was a code for where we were about to go. And if I saw like a dress and especially the thighs, the tights, sorry, is that the word, like
The tights, yeah.
the tights to me were a big code that we were going for a place that was going to be no fun, because in the late 90s and early 2000s they used to tear so easily.
Yeah.
And my mom would be very, very like, please don't go playing around, don't go climbing on trees, go do crazy stuff because they're going to tear and we don't want that. So like clothing was a code for like how much fun things were going to be. So I did relate to the story very closely, and the great thing about the script and working throughout the program with it was that everyone coming on board to work with us also felt very closely related. So then we knew we had something very special going on.
Well, the film begins with Ashley realizing she needs to learn to pivot on the basketball court to become, a better player. And in the end, we can see the truth of the title. Life is a continuous pivot from one role to another, from one perception to another, isn't it? Right? So that's the title. That's where it comes from, correct? Okay, so
yeah, double entendre, that
yeah,
where that in basketball we pivot to go a new direction, to that you come against a wall, and then like pivoting emotionally is that what she was doing isn't working. She's not happy. She needs to pivot in her tactics, and that's scary and it's challenging and it's a skill to be able to do it. And so we were trying to also create, I think Anna and the team did a really good job creating the connection between that basketball has provided her with a group of friends and a coach and things like that, that like don't avoid things that are difficult, to do things even though they're difficult or they're scary. The opening basketball scene, I think, when she comes up against like a bigger girl and she falls and things like that, and that she's like, no, I'm going to practice it and I'm going to get better at this, is really a signal to that, is like, don't continue to do something that isn't working just because going the other direction is hard at first. You can get past that, and then there's this big open space for you to score.
it's genius.
Yeah,
Genius title. Sorry, Anna.
I think that, no, it's all right. Like just to complete it, the basketball was really a means to show that she was building the confidence to do it herself, right? To be herself, and the basketball is a symbol for where she feels comfortable, where she feels confident, and that's what we try to do with pivoting.
Just to add to that I think I was like, we're getting there a bit, is that basketball is a group of people that she aligns with and who accept her for who she is, and her finding people who align with her and accept her for who she is provides her with the confidence to then go to her family and be like, this is who I am.
Nice.
Which I think is really important in life. Like,
it
just
absolutely, yeah. The music is so perfect, emoting the mood of the mom and the elegant sadness Ashley feels, rising to underscore the battle between Ashley and the monster, and then showing the mom's sadness when she sees the remnants of the dress on the floor, and the eventual acceptance of who Ashley is at this point in her life. One amazing piece of music. Tell us about the composer.
Our composer, Eva, is brilliant, and she was included in the process and the creative process very early on because of the program. She was also selected through the program, the ACE program, and because we have no dialogue, the music had to be this component of this trait, this dialogue. So Eva created this dynamic within it that works as a dialogue between mother and daughter. And then once the monster is revealed, music works as this component of like it's going to take over you. It feels very overwhelming, but by the time, yes, mom comes back in, then we go back again into this dialogue and this emotional piece. The music really brought it all together at the end, and not only that, but it's almost like a character within itself. It has ups and downs, and it has an emotional roller coaster within itself, which I think is very beautiful and what she did so brilliantly. Yes.
So, is there anything else you want to say about the film, or maybe something else you might be working on?
Well, the film is, like I said, made through this program, and it was such a joy to be able to work and collaborate with so many women that are equally aligned in the industry. We've been like growing up in the 90s, we probably heard too many times that women don't work well together, and like we cannot collaborate, we fight, but like it's such a big bullshit, right? It's like, sorry, but it's so true. We want to find like-minded individuals, just like Ashley found her group. We also want to find ourselves and find people who want to create better content out there. And that's the beauty of making this film. Not only like it turned out to be an excellent piece because the people working with it felt so closely connected to it and with each other. So honestly, the crew and the team that created it, it's so we were so fortunate to have such wonderful, talented people to work with us.
Yeah, I was just so surprised that when I saw the role at the end, how many women. I think I saw one guy, his name is Mark or something.
we had men working
Marcel?
with us, absolutely. Yeah, Marcel, we had Mark Fortin as well, we had Greg Perrin, like we had wonderful men, but like the idea was to mostly create this wonderful space of collaboration between women, but we always want men to be our allies as well, right? So like, yes, there's room for everyone. That's what we mean at the end.
It is all female led, all
Yeah.
the yeah.
So y'all did a whole bunch of film festivals?
We are edging on, I think, our 33rd film festival. I'll be at Catalina next week.
All
If
right.
anyone's going to the Catalina Film Festival, very excited for that one. I'm going to Catalina Island.
Nice, good.
And we, myself, Anna, and Cindy are going to La Femme in Beverly Hills. So if anyone is going to that, please reach out. We like to make friends at these festivals and make them a lot more fun.
Yeah,
Create
cool.
community and stuff. And our film will be screening there also, which is really exciting. Any others that we're going to soon? Or
I think coming up, it's that like we have those two coming up.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of film festivals. I haven't been going to many. I had never been to Canada, and I know you girls are in Canada, so I had to go to the Female Eye Film Festival just because I like females, and so I was really curious about going to Canada as well. And I know TIFF is going on right now. It might have ended already. I don't know. I can't keep up with them all, but it was really cool to be there and see that. But so are you guys working on anything else? What's your next brainchild?
I'm currently working as a director for Kickstart Entertainment, which is a studio here in Vancouver. We also have a branch down in LA and in other, I think there's also little studios somewhere else in the world, which I can't recall now. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's been really lovely to be able to work from the short film into a professional setting. So it's been really fortunate. And Robyn has more exciting news.
She has been on a tear. She's done 3 series. I think you're on your 3rd series in the last year.
Like Small series, yes.
You guys such a claw. I'm like, they're a big deal. One of those American Girl doll. They're big series. I am currently on, or I have been on, Lego Friends: The Next Chapter, which is with the Lego group and has some just really phenomenal characters in it. It is out on Netflix and Amazon Prime, I believe now, which is exciting. I'm also developing some things. I'm developing a couple series with Cindy King, who's the art director on Pivot. She's also just wrapping up on the Garfield movie, which is very cool. And I am also working on a feature film idea. So when the strike is over and everything, we're ready with some things to pitch.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for keeping us in the loop and being with the Hollywood Times. YouTube is the Hollywood Times official, and our website is thehollywoodtimes.today. So please keep us posted on what's happening in your world, and we will continue to push out Pivot, because it's just so many messages in there. So, and thanks so much for your time, both of you.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you for having me.
Maybe we can cross paths in the same room somewhere one day.
Yeah,
I would love that.
That would be terrific.
I've never been to La Femme before.
Yeah, no, check it out. I think it'd be worth your while, especially with this film. That'd be cool. Yeah. So stay well and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.